Are you posting content all the time but hearing, well, nothing but crickets? If you feel like you're just shouting into the void, you're going to want to stick around. Today, we are breaking down a system that's designed to turn your content from just random noise into a machine that actually attracts clients. Let's get into it.
So here's our roadmap. First, we're going to tackle what I call the random posting problem. Then, I'll introduce you to the solution, the pillar system. After that, we'll get super practical with a blueprint for building your own pillars. We'll look at how to make your content creation way more efficient. And finally, we'll see the kind of transformation this whole strategy can bring. All right, let's kick things off with section 1. We're diving deep into the random posting problem to really get to the bottom of why your content might feel like it's falling flat no matter how much work you put in. Does this sound familiar? You are putting in the work. You're showing out multiple times a week. You're posting, but your inbox is totally empty. It's such a frustrating cycle, and honestly, it's one of the biggest reasons people just burn out. But here's the thing, the problem usually isn't your effort, it's the lack of a system. You know the drill. A motivational quote on Monday, a quick tip on Wednesday, a client testimonial on Friday. It all feels like good stuff, right? But when all these pieces are disconnected, it's just a scattergun approach. This kind of random content, this hodgepodge, it leads to random results, which, let's be real, usually means zero inquiries because your audience is left totally confused about what problem you actually solve for them.
But here's the good news. There is a powerful antidote to all this content chaos. So let's jump into section 2 and break down the solution, the pillar system. So what on earth are content pillars? Well, think of them as 3 or 4 core themes. These are the absolute foundations of your expertise. But here's the really crucial part. They are not about you. They are built specifically to address your ideal client's biggest problems and to strategically, gently guide them to see you as the solution. This is a huge mindset shift. You saw being that reactive content creator, the one scrambling for ideas every single morning. Instead, you become a strategist. Every single piece of content you create suddenly has a purpose, and it fits perfectly into a framework that consistently positions you as the expert they need.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? Let's get practical. We're going to break down a simple 3-step blueprint for building your own powerful content pillars.
It's a really straightforward process. First, you get absolutely crystal clear on your client's biggest struggles. Second, you literally turn those problems into solution-focused themes. And third, you structure your content to meet people exactly where they are, whether they're just figuring out they have a problem or they're ready to invest in a fix.
Let's make this real. For step 1, imagine you're a business coach. Your ideal client isn't just stuck, right? They're facing very specific challenges. They can't get good leads, they are way undercharging for their services, they're constantly just putting out fires, and they feel totally invisible. These are the deep problems you need to zero in on.
Now, this is where the magic happens. You directly turn those pain points into your content pillars. Can't attract leads becomes your lead generation strategies pillar. Pricing too low becomes your pricing and positioning pillar. See how that works? Each pillar is a direct promise to solve one of their biggest problems. And finally, you structure your posts based on where your audience is in their journey. About 60% of your content should be for awareness, posts that make your audience think, wow, that's exactly what I'm struggling with. 30% is for consideration, where you share your unique methods, and that last 10% is for decision, showing off client results and case studies.
Okay, so now you have a strategy, but how do you execute it without spending your entire life creating content? This next part is all about building an efficiency engine to make it happen.
The key to consistency is a simple posting rhythm. The whole idea is to just rotate through your pillars every single week. This makes sure that you're regularly talking about all of your ideal clients' major problems. That way, no matter when someone finds you, they immediately see you addressing something relevant to them.
And here's what that looks like in practice. Super simple. Week 1, you might post about each of your 4 pillars in order. Then week 2, you just shuffle the order. It's a simple but incredibly effective way to guarantee you have variety and you're covering all your bases over time.
But listen, this next part, this is the real game changer for being efficient. It's what I call the repurposing multiplier. This is how you escape that content treadmill for good. The goal is to work smarter, not harder, by making one core piece of content do the work of 7 or even more.
So let's say you write one really good in-depth article or record one video a week.
From that single piece, you can pull out a LinkedIn carousel with key points, 3 or 4 short text posts, an email newsletter, a script for a reel, a Twitter thread. I mean, the list just goes on. 1 hour of focused work can seriously fuel your entire content calendar for the week.
So, what does this all add up to? Let's look at the real-world impact of making this shift from random posting to a strategic pillar system. This is the transformation from being invisible to becoming completely in demand.
Let's look at a real-world example. Meet Sarah. She's a leadership coach and she was creating content but just wasn't getting the traction she deserved. So she decided to implement this pillar system.
Sarah identified the 4 biggest struggles for the leaders she wants to work with, and she built her pillars right around them: handling tough conversations, building great teams, shifting their mindset, and managing their time. Every single pillar is a direct solution to a major leadership headache. And the result? By applying this exact system, 1 long-form piece a week, repurposed and rotating through her pillars, her inbound inquiries jumped from maybe 1 or 2 a month to an average of 12 every single month. And that transformation, it happened in just 90 days.
So the main takeaway here is this: the difference is like night and day. Without pillars, you're stuck in this cycle of uncertainty, inconsistency, and feeling invisible. With pillars, you get a clear strategy that creates a consistent presence, which builds your authority and ultimately attracts clients. It's a system that just plain works.
And that brings us to the final question, the one I really want you to take away from all this. You have the framework now. You've seen the potential. So it's your turn to think, what are your clients' biggest pain points? And what will your pillars be?